All right, let's get back to our busy phones. All right, let's say hi to Matt in Atlanta. News Talk WSB, AM and FM. What's up, Matt?
Hey, Sean. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
That was a heated debate. I enjoyed that.
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to say that I listen to you a lot, but sometimes you confuse me because you speak rightfully so against big government. You point out how government fumbles every program it creates, but at the same time, you adhere to this belief that we have to police the world, give billions of dollars to oppressive dictators such as Mubarak, and what you fail to realize is that when we interfere through foreign policy and with sovereign nations, it creates blowback. That's what creates the Muslim hatred.
The first role, as I see it, of our government is to protect our way of life. You agree?
Absolutely not. The very first rule of our government is to protect my liberty.
Well, but hang on. No, stop. That is what I'm talking about. To protect our way of life, to preserve, and protect liberty and freedom. You can't protect your way of life if you don't live free and you don't have liberty, right? So the first role of government is to protect America's way of life, and yes, hence, by design, liberty. That's the point. Now, here's my...
Sean, look, I want to make this point. I work 9 hours a day, just as you do, and in 4 hours of that day go to pay taxes. And a lot of that is to fund a $750 billion foreign policy, a military budget, of us policing the world. And that has to end because we're going bankrupt.
All right, listen. That's not why defense is not why we're going bankrupt. The reason we're going bankrupt...
You're wrong.
All right, I'm wrong. You're right. All right, goodbye. I'll explain it for other people that want the explanation. Here's the reason we need... It would be a great thought, wouldn't it, if America could just we can build a bubble.
But there's two things I said. I said, why isn't Iraq paying us back with oil and paying every American family and their soldiers that lost loved ones or have injured soldiers? And why didn't they pay for their own liberation? For the Kuwait oil minister, how short his memory is. We have every right to go in there and, frankly, take all their oil and make them pay for the liberation as these sheiks, et cetera, were living in hotels in London and New York, as Trump pointed out. And now they're gouging us and say, oh, of course they can withstand.
Not only that.
As for the peace that we would preserve, I wonder who among us would like to approach the wife or mother whose husband or son has died in South Vietnam and ask them if they think this is a peace that should be maintained indefinitely. Do they mean peace, or do they mean we just want to be left in peace? There can be no real peace while one American is dying someplace in the world for the rest of us. And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down. Man's old age dream, the ultimate in individual freedom consistent with law and order, or down to the ant heap of totalitarianism. And regardless of their sincerity, their humanitarian motives, those who would trade our freedom for security have embarked on this downward course.